in regard to David's words, I just want to say that regarding my personal experience with student, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
How about for that?
And there is a little bit about your tab we still need to clear.
I can't believe you left him for me. What? I saw you were torn.
It's a new roommate in the background.
This is all sweet.
And I borrowed money from him too.
Well, actually, of course, I wasn't supposed to be speaking this evening.
You did your thing.
Thank you. But many members, or many people here are recognized as members of the Choral Society. And, you don't have to sing to be a member of the choral. That's great. It's the name. Anyhow, Roseanne Barr's membership, however, has been with that in mind, Dr. Murray is supposed to be speaking this evening to give you all a sort of an idea about what's going to be going on with the society this year. And a little information about next year, but since Dr. Murray can't be here, I'm here, and of course, I'm very sorry to be here. I mean, I'm very excited to be here. I'm just sorry that my being here means that Dr. Murray couldn't be sorry to be here himself.
Why is it chicken?
I better begin again. In connection with reading this report, there are a few things, four things, no, three things that Dr. Murray wanted brought up in connection with reading this report. I've been asked to bring them up in connection with reading this report. Well, with this report. Those are the, if there are four things, these of those three would be these in the, there we are. In the first place, these questions that we're doing up in our little place at Silver Lake. Now, I don't think any members of the society realize just how big the work is we're doing up at our little place at Silver Lake. For instance, I don't think that it's generally known that most of our boys are between the age of 14. Right, 14. And we feel that by taking the boy at this age, we can get closer to his real nature. Boy has a very real nature, you may be sure. So then we feel that we can bring the boy then closer to himself and to parents, to the school and the town in which he lives, the flag which he pays allegiance, and to the all the town in which he lives, all of it. And, well, those of you then who contributed so generously last year to the floating hospital, and have probably wondered what became of the money. Now, I was speaking on this subject just last week at our Uptown branch, and a dear sweet little old lady came up to me all dressed in lavender. And she came up to me and she said, Mr. So-and-so, call me by name. I said, Mr. So-and-so, what the hell did you do with all them things they gave you last year? Well, it has occurred to some of the members of the committee that you, the members of the society, might like to have some kind of accounting as to what happened to those funds. And so, Mr. Rossiter, unfortunately our treasurer, or rather, Mr. Rosser, who is our treasurer, but unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, who's out with a very bad cold and couldn't be here. Oh, I'm sorry, my mistake. Pneumonia. Anyhow, Mr. Rossiter, that I prepared a few things for you, and in that regard, we have prepared a few things for you. I'd like to draw your attention to what is a synopsis of the treasurer's report, and in particular, I'd like to bring your attention to this figure. Now then. I get it.
Question.
Yeah, it's that. Now then, in the following of the treasurer's report. First thing I'd like to bring to your attention is the donations we have here. I've got some breakdowns here of our donations from BLG, $500, very, very nice. From GKM, $500. You'll note here from Lottie and Dolly W, an entire $500. And in memory of a happy summer at Rye Beach, $10. Proceeds of the sale of hats and towels left in the boathouse, and that should be an H. We'll speak to the lady and then we'll get this all cleared up. And there was $14.55, and note that the 55 cent it's carried down. And then the junior league, bless them, gave a performance of Pinafore for the benefit of the fund, and that resulted in a net deficit. And from dues and charges, boy, we can be proud of this. $2,354.75, and of course the 55 and the are carried down. Carried down. And then the savings in coal this year. Of course, this figure is estimated, but we feel that it is darn close to $374.75. And of course, we carried 75 cents. And, well, you can imagine that the savings in coal alone made Dr. Marty very, very happy. Now then, that gave us total receipts shown here on this line in the bold letters. Total receipts and all the way across. $3,645.62, still all carried down. And shown niceness in bold print. Now, this is, of course, all reckoned as of June. So, I should have pointed out in the beginning of this that these figures are all from 1998. By 1989. 1989. And it's, of course, by 1989, we mean 1988. As near as we can. I don't know why this is here. The lady with the missing H, I see she, this must be from something else. Everyone in the Choral Society is just fine. I clearly, oh, now here's some more numbers. Here's something we can do. Well, in the matter of expenditures, the club has not been quite so lucky. The unsettled condition of business this year, and of course the very warm spring, has led to the rather difficult figures we have here to continue with. Expenditures this year were up to $23,574.85, or showing here tonight them Dublin Border Boy Scholars. Loss, just a general loss owing to several things. $326.70, or showing here, I think it's this 142. Car fare added up this year. $4,025, and of course these figures are all being carried down and shown here as $8,000 Baltimore, There was Mrs. Wallet that spins account for her trip to Baltimore to see what our folks are doing there in Baltimore, and I'm sure it's worth all of us here to find out just what it is they're doing in Baltimore. I like the idea, but it does add up though. For example, going here as one of these numbers, I think it's one of them. And then under the general heading of odds and ends, just odd stuff we had lying around. That stuff cost us $2,000. And of course, that came strong here as $11,973. So that gives us to a follow dispersal, which it's not shown here, but according to Dr. Murray's notes, that came to a net deficit. That's basically what this comes down to, the net deficit of several thousand dollars. It's thousands of dollars. That's amazing. Well, anyway. Well, now that brings us to the fourth point I wanted to bring up this evening, or rather, it would be the third point if you counted the first point twice. These figures here only bring us to October, because in October, you see, my sister was married, and in the general confusion, we lost track of all the figures for October and May. Those of you wishing approximate figures for October and May are welcome to select from. I think we'd have some spares, and if you need a pointer, I'll come up afterwards and point. Well, then that just about brings us to a close here this evening. I think all of us have an idea of the fine work we're doing and the efforts put in by everyone to generate these kinds of figures. Those of you who wish to contribute over and above your annual dues can see me afterwards while you're picking out a figure for April and May. And then you can just see me out here, and while you're thinking this evening, I hope you'll take a moment to consider the fine work we're doing and look deep into your heart and deep into your pocketbooks to help us put this thing over with a bang. And help make this the biggest and best year the Armenians have ever had. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, voters of the 8th Election District, I'll make my introductions as brief as possible, as one or two of the speakers have to go from here to address other rallies. I'm sorry to say that the guest speaker of the evening, the Honorable James B. Murney, has just notified us he's a bad attack of laryngitis and will be unable to address the meeting tonight. We're fortunate, however, in having his assistant in the campaign, who, although he has not spoken in the campaign before, he is very close to Mr. Murney and will be able, I am sure, to give us firsthand Mr. Murney's views on the coming election. Mr. Robert Benchley.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, voters of the 8th Election District, I'm sorry to be here tonight. Brother, I'm glad to be here tonight, but I'm sorry that my being here means that Mr. Murney is unable to be sick. Well, I guess I better begin again. When your chairman asked me to speak to you tonight in Mr. Murney's place, I was a little in the dark as just what to talk about. Of course, I knew I was supposed to talk about the candidate we're going to elect at the next election, but, or I think we're going to elect. I hope we're going to elect. But I sometimes wonder just what the chances. Well, I don't wonder exactly, because I know we're going to elect him. But it's just that I isn't so much that as my being up here tonight reminds me of a story, which probably all of you have heard. It seems there was this man well, this fellow or other who was in a more or less inebriated condition, standing on a bridge looking down into the water.
We want houses. We want houses. We want houses.
They want who?
Go on, Towsy. Go on with your speech.
Well, this fellow looking down into the water, well, I think the first thing that we have to think of tonight, and as I figure it out, there are three things that we have to think of tonight. And the first is, these are those. Those are these. Now, there's the question of, I don't think that most of us voters in the 8th Assembly District quite realize the issues that are at stake. I don't, for instance, think that it's generally known that the administrative costs last year rose to between $1,800. Now, this is a matter which calls for attention, not only because of its importance to the community as a whole, but because of its significance to the country at large and its bearing on the issues of our institutions and the significance to the country at large. This pretty well clears up that end of the problem. But I have some figures here which may help to make things a little less clear. In 1911, the United States exported this commodity to the value of $30 million. No, 30,000. No, that's right, 30 million in 1914. In 1911, the United States exported this commodity to the value of 1914. Of this, 40,000 were white, 10,000 were approximately white, and 30,000 were the same as those in Group A, white. It brings us up to 1925. In 1925, England alone imported, may not be the right set of figures. You know, Mr. Chairman, if these are the figures that Mr. Murney wanted to have read, well, they don't seem quite right to me. Well, anyway, I think they pretty well cover the point that I was trying to make, and lead me more or less logically to the main item of our indictment against the party that we are against. Now, the fourth point that I wanted to bring up tonight, or rather, I suppose it would be the third point if you counted that first point as two, is in connection with the groundwater dam project. A project which Mr. Murney is very much against, and I am too. Now, this groundwater dam project is nothing but a grab at the taxpayers' money. And I thought that we should think twice before thinking about it. Now, Mr. Murney, when he thought he was coming tonight, has made up a chart.
Oh, teach.
I have a chart, and show you just what you're up against if you elect our opponent, or even if you don't elect. I can get this thing. Oh, we can never keep it down.
Yeah, that this thanks Mr. Opponent.
I don't say no, I don't say no. Gentlemen, please.
It's so fun.
This is not a song sheet. This is a chart that Mr. Murney has made up, and he's very ill, and I think the least we can do would be to pay attention to it. Now, this is what Mr. Murney considers to be the crux of the whole matter, as I understand it. This is the Groundwater River running up through here. Here's Ardney County here, and here's Ardney County. Both Ardney County, I guess. Now, here is the proposed dam, which will be built at a cost of $1,450,000, as you see here, or $2,385,000 over here. This dam, however, is a fake dam. Here is the real dam, which will be hidden under bushes at a cost of $1,750,000, or $3,450,000, and no fancy you see. Now, the idea of this is to take the wear and tear, which will fall on the proposed fake dam, you see, and not see the real dam because it's hidden in the bushes at the cost of $1,750,000. Now, here's the place to leave the bicycles. And this whole thing, as I understand it, is complicated by the fact that the river ends right here and the state highway begins. Which more or less makes it unnecessary to have any dams at all. But they're working on that problem, and we think that we'll find a reason for the dam. Now, here is the proposed post office at a cost of $1,500,000, $110,000, no, $3,920,000. What's the matter with me? This is just up around in here in this district. Now, here we have $1,300,000 for what? Well, what I don't know, but they're working on that problem too, and I'm sure they'll find something. Now, over here, we have the men's locker room. That's all going to be made ground in here. And $14,000 is what they're estimating now. But we figure more on the $1,750,000 here, which, on that column there. This is the captive balloon I was telling you about. That's very much fun in here, but we leave that whole district out. But there's here 25 miles. I don't know 25 miles from what, but it must be all right because it says $6,000 there. That, you see, shows up over here, plus the $1,750 for cab fare, which goes right in with all these other figures. Now, here's where we camped out for the night. We had 3 guides with Dr. Rasmussen and myself, and we picked this place because it was near the fish hatchery country, $1,375,000. And the next day, we set about reconnoitering. We kept on this side of the river because of the possible Indians over here. In the morning, we reconnoitered around here and discovered this small river here, which seemed to have no beginning or end at all, and so we more or less ignored it. There's a bird we saw, but I don't suppose it's there now. Now, all these figures, this is the captive balloon I was telling you about, we don't seem to be added up except for this cab fare, $17.50. That will all come out of petty cash. That does not add enough, but it's well, it adds up into quite a tidy sum. But I think that you'll see that this whole thing, together with the proposed dam and the 9 extra holes of golf and the floating hospital, it will build up into a mighty pretty country. Now, I think this chart has shown that this Grouse River Dam project is a pretty good proposition after all. I mean, it's not a pretty good proposition after all. Let's get into it. No, but all joking aside, we are confronted by a very serious state of affairs. And I believe that just so long as we allow these forces to interfere with our priests, just so long as we ignore those principles which were laid down by the founders of this country, just so long as this union of states remains a union of states, one and invisible. I thank you.
Right.